Hey, so I hope you guys are doing well. So, yeah, I thought Hawkeye was mad fun. And so I'm just looking at some of my notes. Unlike some of the other series that I think that they have, I thought that Hawkeye really kind of not just reflected the character that they had in Endgame, but Renner's version of Hawkeye actually really embodied the sense you got of the character from the comic books. And I don't remember exactly how many Hawkeye comic books that I actually bought when I was younger, but the sort of low key attitude or humility that was exposed, that is the character being embodied perfectly. So, what happened exactly in the first season? In the first season, so we were really introduced to Kate Bishop, Kate Bishop, Kate Bishop, and I'm just saying that. And I'm about to start spoiling, so this is a spoiler version. So, I think that if you just start the series, you might say, well, the series really sort of like has more to do with this kid than it does to really have to do with Clint Barton. But you really have to watch the whole thing to really get what's going on. If you just sort of like watch the first episode, then you just sort of like be like, I'm kind of wasting my time. This is more about this kid. I have no real interest in her. I'm interested only in Clint. So I'd say some of my favorite moments were the fight scenes between the tracksuit mafia and Clint and Kate. There was this whole stretch that started from the warehouse in which Echo destroys, or she destroyed, Clint's hearing aid. And so there's a whole period of time in which he can't hear and he just has to rely on all his other senses. And it's really a superb duration, or rather, it's a superb action sequence that starts from them actually being inside of the warehouse, and then there's a car chase, and the car chase scenes, it stretches from blob arrows being sent to arrows that detonate upon impact being sent, and it's really phenomenal. I think the character development was pretty good. Like, for example, we started off with Kate Bishop being sort of like this childish character that really seems to be, to a certain extent, mid level functioning, a bit on the needy side. And then by the end, we have a young adult that's more so on their way to being independent and can kind of hold their own. So the character development was pretty good as far as especially like Kate Bishop. And then we were also able to see Clint Barton's character kind of come around to the Kate Bishop character. And then we could see him handling situations in a different way, dealing with remorse as far as his previous sins and his behavior, especially when he was Ronin and actually killed people. What could have been improved? I think at times the writing was kind of so-so. Like the writing in the last episode, I had problems with it a little bit because it actually, upon reflection, I saw it again a second time. It just kind of seemed a little bit strange. I think actually the beginning of the season, the writing was much stronger. And I think one of the other things that was happening is, of course, that the different episodes had different directors. For the future, what I'm hoping that they do is if they want to switch up the directors, which they tend to do, that's fine, but they want to just make sure that maybe the writing is consistent. And then I'd love for them to explore more Ronin.